Okay, so this week I'm explaining different universal laws, which is the mechanism of the universe, how life operates, to help all of us understand and to really learn how to maneuver and navigate through different situations, right? Most of us know life is great, right? If you are in this channel, probably you believe how wonderful life is. But also, you might be wondering, there are different problems and challenges that arise, right? And how to have our own perspective and how to meet those challenges is by using the universal law to learn how we can shift and position our perspective. That is very useful and effective. Now, today, I want to talk about the universal law of relativity, which is interesting. This law of relativity is very useful and you can use in a way that gives you expansion. So let's back off a little bit. Now, spiritual dimension is the law of the realm of absolute. Yeah, this physical world is the realm of the relative. Now, what do I mean by that, right? So the way that I like to explain is take a moment, imagine that there's a door in front of you. Yeah, that you just open the door and look at inside, and you only see white walls, white floor, white ceiling, right? Because everything is so white, you don't see the distinction between the wall and the ceiling, and then in fact it's like the endless infinite size. Now you close the door and there's no separation between the door and the wall. Everything is white. Now, once you enter there, you don't feel and understand and sense the spacious awareness. You don't know how big it is, how small it is. And then if you go to the right, if you go to the left, everything looks the same, feels the same. And there is the realm of absolute. Because there's no left or right, up or down, or left relative to right, right? Small relative to big, right? Just one vast, let's say, space per se. Yeah. But the 3D physical world is the realm of the relative. So here I have my right hand, which is your, from you is the left side, and this is your right side. But this is your right side in relative to this left side. But if I have my hands here, this becomes your left side. Yeah. So everything is relative. Okay. When you were little, probably $10 was a lot of money. But right now, $10 might be very little money. Yeah. But the $10 is the same amount in value, but your perspective, your experience, your attitude change about what $10 means, and it changed the value for you, right? The relativity. Yeah. Nothing, this is what Shakespeare said, right? Nothing is big or small, but only the thinking and the meaning that we attach make it so. Okay, now that's the law of relativity, right? So we live in the relative realm. The space-time reality is the relative world. Now, how do we use that to serve us? Okay, take a moment to think of something that feels very heavy. Let's say, for instance, you're running around and you have a lot of things to do, right? And you start feeling overwhelming. Maybe you're in a time crunch, or maybe there is a important something next week, right? And you start feeling heavy, you start feeling anxious about it, right? But that anxiousness is coming from how you're perceiving that thing, how you're perceiving your current situation, not the situation itself. So everything just is, everything that happens in this world just is, and the meaning that we attach, the way in which we perceive, creates the internal experience. So anything that you're feeling huge or heavy, how can you make it feel small and light? A small, this is what I often say as an analogy, a small rock is a huge mountain for the ants. Yeah. But can you have a more open-mindedness, or if you draw and if you decrease the size of your mind to make yourself small like an ant, something that is not too big can be overwhelming. Does that make sense? So I'm kind of, talking about the physical size of the rock and ant, but you want to utilize this analogy to expand or shrink, contract your mindset and psychology, and how you're valuing yourself, how you're feeling worthy about yourself, how you're feeling capable about yourself, how you're choosing to see yourself as a decisive person or efficient, effective person or disciplined person or productive person. Yes. So things that happen in our life just are. And depending on how we're choosing to see ourselves, either small or big, or efficient, fast, or slow learner, or not, this is what happens, right? The identity that I'm not that techy, or identity, whatever the identity that might prevent you from falling into the trap of difficulty. Does that make sense? So you change your perspective of how you see yourself to make things much easier and effortless. Yeah. So when somebody has 5 projects lined up, if you see yourself somebody who is moving slow or challenging in some sort of the project, that might be overwhelming. But if you see yourself somebody who is capable of doing boom, 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 boom fast, because doing fast doesn't mean that you're mindless, but in fact, universe loves speed, right? So depending on the identity that you hold, you change the heaviness, lightness, meaning of the things that you're doing. So to make it simple, let's pick one thing that you currently feel a little bit resistant, that's heavy. Why? What's the interpretation inside of you? The way in which you're seeing that thing is creating that heaviness. Or maybe you're procrastinating a little bit, or you're having a little micro hesitation to diving in. Yeah. Can we begin changing the way we look at it to make it smaller and lighter by you rising above the way in your seeing yourself, and to just knock it off in 1 second. 1 second is just the way that I'm saying, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So begin looking at your project life and areas in your life that you feel a little heavy and contracted, and can we change using the law of relativity to make it smaller, lighter? So then it's either that thing needs to become smaller or you need to become bigger to be able for the thing to feel small, right? So to change the perspective, to change the feeling about what you're doing, to change actually your experience, is how we want to utilize the universal law of relativity. So notice though, because this pattern is something that we tend to hold on to, right? So notice some of the things that you have been hesitating or procrastinating, and maybe it's the time to begin shifting your mind so you can begin making it smooth and making it easy and doing things in an easy, effortless way. Good? Let me know if you have any question, and I'll see you in the next video.